In the early 2000s, Ronaldinho Gaucho captivated the world with a smile as dazzling as his footwork. He was the magician of the football field, the player who seemed to bend the rules of physics and reality. Yet behind the gleaming trophies and the roaring crowds lay a lifestyle spiraling out of control, one filled with luxury, scandal, and ultimately, disgrace. What does it mean when a man who once stood at the pinnacle of glory falls so hard that he loses almost everything? Ronaldinho's journey is more than a tale of triumph and tragedy. It is a deeply human story of resilience, redemption, and the ultimate cost of fame. The making of a legend, from humble beginnings to worldwide fame. Ronaldinho's story begins not with a ball at his feet but with a tragedy that would define him. Born in Porto Alegre, Brazil, in 1980, Ronaldinho was the youngest of 3 children in a family where soccer was a sacred art. His father, João, an amateur footballer, tragically died of a heart attack when Ronaldinho was just 8 years old. This loss struck deeply, but it was also the start of something extraordinary. From then on, young Ronaldo de Assis Moreira, his full name, vowed to carry his father's passion for the sport. From neighborhood dirt pitches to organized youth leagues, Ronaldinho's flair for soccer was undeniable. By the time he joined Grêmio's youth squad in the early 90s, his dazzling skills were gaining attention across the nation. People spoke of him as O Bruxo, or the Wizard, for his seemingly supernatural ability to control the ball. Stardom and glory, the Barcelona years. By 2003, Ronaldinho's talents had propelled him onto the international stage, joining FC Barcelona in a deal that transformed his career. His time at Barcelona is often remembered as a golden era. In a club struggling to reclaim its identity, he brought hope, spirit, and charisma. Under his guidance, Barcelona won their first La Liga title in 6 years in 2005, and a year later, he led them to victory in the UEFA Champions League. His electrifying performances earned him the FIFA World Player of the Year award in 2004 and 2005, cementing his legacy as one of the best players in the world. It wasn't only about his skill on the pitch. Ronaldinho had a unique ability to make the game look effortless, a rare quality that captured the hearts of fans globally. The joy with which he played soccer was infectious, almost childlike, yet masterful. People believed they were watching someone who lived and breathed the sport with pure passion. But behind the scenes, cracks were beginning to appear. The spotlight's intensity and the trappings of fame were beginning to take their toll. The lure of extravagance and the decline of discipline. Ronaldinho's fame brought him immense wealth, which allowed him to indulge in a lifestyle as extravagant as his play. Reports of all-night parties, indulgent purchases, and friendships with high-profile celebrities became more frequent. His partying lifestyle was notorious, and eventually, it became clear that his choices off the field were impacting his performance on it. During this period, Ronaldinho secured numerous lucrative endorsement deals, including a notable contract with Coca-Cola. However, his inability to adhere to the stipulations, like not being seen drinking Pepsi, Coca-Cola's competitor, led to the abrupt termination of his $750,000 per year deal. Publicity around this incident painted him as careless with his career, and fans and media alike began to worry that he was throwing away his potential. Barcelona began seeing less of the Ronaldinho who had led him to glory, and more of a man slipping under the weight of his excesses. Teammates and coaches noted his absence from training sessions, as he showed up late or failed to appear at all. Injuries became more frequent, a possible consequence of his dwindling dedication to fitness. His play began to suffer, and in the 2008 season, he spent significant time on the bench, often nursing minor injuries that, perhaps years before, he would have brushed off. Exile from Brazil's national team and career's twilight. The Brazilian national team, once built around his talent, began to distance itself from him. His omission from the 2010 World Cup squad was a public acknowledgement that his best days were behind him. Ronaldinho didn't take this lightly, claiming in interviews that he was still as capable as ever and was determined to prove himself in future tournaments. But words alone couldn't halt the decline that had begun years earlier. Despite the setback, Ronaldinho was determined to finish his career with pride. He signed with clubs in Brazil and Mexico, but his performances were a shadow of his former glory. Fans who once adored him booed him off the field. The final blow came in 2015, when he signed with Fluminense but failed to score in any of his 9 appearances. The club released him after just 2 months, a disheartening end for someone who had once ruled the footballing world. financial downfall and legal troubles. Even after his career ended, Ronaldinho's problems were far from over. With a net worth once estimated at $90 million, he seemed poised for a comfortable retirement. Yet, a combination of poor financial management, unpaid debts, and legal issues rapidly ate away at his fortune. One of the most notorious incidents involved a property in Porto Alegre, where Ronaldinho built a dock illegally. He was fined nearly $2 million, but he refused to pay. This triggered an investigation into his finances, revealing outstanding debts and unpaid property taxes. Ultimately, the Brazilian government seized his assets, and his passports were confiscated to prevent him from fleeing the country. The confiscation of his passport led to one of the most bizarre chapters in Ronaldinho's life: his arrest in Paraguay for attempting to enter the country with a fake passport. As one of the most recognizable faces in South American football, it was almost absurd that he would try to use a falsified document. When questioned, Ronaldinho claimed he believed the passport had been a gift from Paraguayan officials. The incident resulted in 6 months in a Paraguayan prison, where, ironically, he found a new kind of fame. In prison, Ronaldinho organized soccer tournaments, bringing a spark of joy to his fellow inmates. His skills once again drew awe, as he reportedly scored 11 goals in a final match. This period, though humiliating, reminded people of the player he once was, a man who could inspire joy, even in the most unlikely places. The cryptocurrency scandal, desperate times and questionable choices following his release, Ronaldinho faced financial ruin. In a bid to recover, he turned to the world of cryptocurrency, launching his own coin, the Ronaldinho Soccer Coin. Unfortunately, the project was poorly received and criticized for being vague and overhyped. Although his own cryptocurrency failed to take off, Ronaldinho continued to endorse other cryptocurrency projects, some of which were later revealed as scams. His involvement in these dubious ventures damaged his reputation further, leading to allegations of fraud. While Ronaldinho denied involvement, claiming his image was used without consent, the scandal added another dark chapter to his already troubled post-career life. A tarnished reputation and the attempt to rebuild as Ronaldinho's finances continued to flounder, he faced further backlash from fans and media. At one point, he posted a critical message on social media about Brazil's national soccer team, saying it was the worst he had ever seen. The statement drew outrage, only for Ronaldinho to later clarify that it was part of an ad campaign aimed at sparking discussion. But there were moments of light. Photographs of Ronaldinho in private jets and luxury resorts began to surface, suggesting he had found some stability. Despite everything, his charm and charisma have kept him in the public eye. There's a sense that, even now, Ronaldinho might turn his life around completely. Legacy of joy and tragedy today, Ronaldinho's story serves as both a cautionary tale and a symbol of enduring charm. His brilliance on the field was undeniable, and his mistakes off it, though disappointing, remind us of the fragility of fame and fortune. There is a tragedy in watching a hero fall, but there is also a certain beauty in his attempts to rise again, flawed and human. His journey underscores the fleeting nature of sports glory and the pitfalls that often accompany stardom. While he may never return to his former greatness, Ronaldinho remains an unforgettable icon, a player whose legacy is both complicated and beloved. The world will always remember him, not just for the scandals or the missteps, but for the boundless joy he brought to the beautiful game.